So as a start, in case I do not have any more jokes for you, let me just give you one okay-only joke to satisfy you, and then I carry on with my main topic. We talk about inflation. Do you know that the Koreans are wonderful people? I'm talking about the South Korean as well, the Korean drama. Do you know that by watching Korean drama, you can talk about investment? How? You can talk about inflation. I'm not quite sure whether you guys are as old as me or you look very young. Let me share with you, in the olden days, like the 80s, when the Koreans want to show their love, they will show the big love. Then, in the 90s, inflation. When the Koreans want to show their love, they find like that very tiring, so they just put like that. Ladies and gentlemen, inflation now 2017. Now want to show love, like that. Getting smaller and smaller. That is called love inflation. So when we talk about insurance as a love product, we are not talking about compromising our loved one in case something happened to us. Let not let the fear of inflation destroy the wellness that we can prepare for our loved ones. Then, I ask another question. So, we are in an industry called insurance. Why are we different from the rest? You probably have your answer. Let me summarize it for you. For all other industry, you can summarize by saying two sentences, which is, no money, no talk. You can be the best doctor with the best medicine. If the patient keep coming to you for free, you die because you can't pay for your rental. You can be the best lawyer wanting to help people to prove they are innocent. If they can't pay you, you die. So in all other industry, we are talking about no money, no talk. You can't get a service unless you have money. Congratulations. In your industry called insurance, it's not no money, no talk. It's called what, you know? No talk, no money. That's why when people tell you that, but now no, I got no money, that's why you need to talk to me because I'm going to create an instant estate for you. One last thing I'm going to share with you before I start. Now, so we're talking about protection. Hey, hello, don't protect the wrong thing. Let me share with you what happened when I went back to Singapore and I lived there. I have a neighbor. He's quite senior. He's about 50 over years old. Senior in the sense that I think that I'm young compared to him. He's senior. So his name is Mr. Ong. Now, Mr. Ong loves his pair of running shoes. He just bought a pair of running shoes. And his wife doesn't allow him to bring the running shoes into the house. So what can he do? He put it outside. But if you put outside, it's not that safe, you know. So what he do? He said, never mind. I go and buy a camera, and then I make sure that I watch over it. I can even record it. Just like you guys, when you are driving, you have the cam recorder. So one day, I see Mr. Ong. I say, hey, what happened? Why you look so sad? Is it that your shoe gone? He said, no, shoe not gone. The camera gone. Because the camera costs more than the shoe. So we may find this funny, but how funny it is when we're out there talking to clients the importance of insurance, people always insure the wrong thing. They insure on things that are not as important as themselves and their loved one. So it's important that we get our priority right. So protecting is one thing, protecting the right thing is more important. Now, can I be very casual with you because I don't really treat this like a formal seminar, because the truth can only be revealed when we are family. So I'm going to be very frank with you. I do not want to go through the mumbo-jumbo of, oh, I am a platform speaker, you listen to what I say. No, I want to be here to tell you why I picked this topic. Now, Prulia Committee is one of the best committee in the world because I gave them 4. You know what happened? They choose the most difficult one. The one that at the moment when they told me it's going to be this, I also feel, alamak, why I go and give myself this problem? Because it's a tough topic. Tough in the sense that it's going to be a little bit technical for some of you because you're going to first time listening to it. Then when I think back, I say, good. It is important for me to also share with you things that is important for you to know. So can we have some agreement frame in this session? My session is 75 minutes. When we agree on what we're about to do, I have the ability to shorten it, not compromising on the material. So I'm going to see as much as I can to stick within an hour or 70 minutes. Why? Because always listening, always understanding. I can hear some of your stomach hungry. So a hungry man is an angry man. A hungry woman got no man. So I'm not going to block you from your lunch. But you got to help me. I'm going to give you 70 minutes of powerful sharing. You need to give me 100% commitment that you choose to stay in my session to the end so that you get the whole truth. Do you know why I need to do this? Because if you do not stick to this agreement frame, I'm going to tell you all the bad things halfway, right? Then you go out crying. Then you leave the industry. Then after I see you doing some other things. Then I ask you what happened. You say, because you say, oh, no more job. Oh. I say, hello, must see to the end. Okay, so the agreement frame will be very simple, 70 minutes. The next thing I need you to do is, we need to calibrate on our participation level. So you as participants are actually more important than me as a speaker up here. Why? Because you are part of the learning process, you are part of the sharing process. So there are 4 simple things that I'm going to suggest that you need to do along the way in my sessions. And these 4 things, even if I were to close my eyes, I know you can do it. The first thing you need to do is, when there's something that you feel good, I ask you yes, you say yes. I'm sure you guys know how to say yes, right? So you're saying yes to yes, or you're saying yes that you know how to say yes. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, we say yes. Now the second thing I need you to do is, I need you to be able to raise your hand. Doesn't matter whether it's left or right. Just don't go and raise other people's hand, okay? Raise your own hand. So can we just try calibrate? Now calibrate only. Very good. Then you watch your neighbor, see who neighbor. Then you tell them, hey, bro, my lunch waiting for me in my hai lang. Don't go in like that. We support each other a bit. Okay, very good. So we calibrate too. The third one is, I need you to be able to touch your hand this way or this way. Doesn't matter. Just make sure that you can feel your own hand. Don't go and touch other people's hand. Oh, hello? This is not some dating sessions. So your own hand. Okay. This is the third thing. Now the last thing I need you to do is also very simple. I need you to be able to feel your chair. Especially when you're sitting down. Can you feel the chair? Okay. Is it soft or hard? Those who say soft, you touch the wrong part lah. It got to be hard. I need you to touch the frame of the chair, not the cushion. The frame of your chair. Okay? So these are the 4 things only. When do we do it? I won't tell you now. When it comes, I'll let you know. So can we have this agreement frame? Okay. Then can you give me a round of applause before I start? Okay. All right. Wonderful. So, when you look at this topic, what were you thinking? What is this? What is FinTech? Actually, when I was designing it, I also don't know. I just heard people say it's very important. So when it's very important, it means that we all need to know. So we ask ourselves, what is traditional way of selling insurance? When you were to close your eyes and think of insurance, you would think of insurance as meeting people, being able to tell them the importance of protection, and more importantly, learning from your senior how they succeed. So when you got no sales, what happened? Your senior say, hey, hello. When you got no sales, you go and knock on the 10th office. That's what I did last time. Then when you don't do, they say, you're not committed. When you do, you got no result, they say you're no good. Then you say, like that means I'm not suitable. Only to realize that it may not be you not suitable. It could be the customer preference of buying have changed. We will find out. Okay? So I have shared with you that basically I have deep rooting in Malaysia Prudential and with Prudia as well. Just last year, I was behind near the DJ stand because I was still with Prudential East Spring and I was helping out. I gave myself one crazy idea. I say what, I tell you, you don't laugh, huh? I say one day, I want to be up here. One day. I didn't know that one day came because of you guys. You don't think because I'm invited to speak, I got my dream came true. Can you imagine I stand up here getting ready to talk only to realize that is no one's interested in my topic. So it's you who have made my dream come true, okay? And a lot of people didn't know that I can trade insurance because last time I talked about unit trust. Yeah. Now, any one of you here, now is the time to raise hand, remember? Can you remember the full title or not? Got free gift for you. Full title. Can FinTech replace what? If I'm your customer, I say, so what you know? What does it mean? Nothing. So there is a shortcut. The shortcut is, can FinTech replace you? Can FinTech replace you? Some of us do not even know what is FinTech, only to realize it on the day that FinTech come and tell you, out, I'm the new boss. Any one of you remember this robot by IBM? It's called Deep Blue. They started developing this software because they believe that the computers can outdo human. So since 1984, the scientists start to develop a program that can win the world champion in chess. And even though they started in 1985, 84, 85, they only ready to showcase it in 1995. So almost a decade. And in 1995, they didn't win the world champion. Almost. Out of 6 games, the computer only won 2 games, and the world champion won 4 games. And then the scientists didn't give up. So 1 year later, in 1996, this machine called Deep Blue beats the human. 6 out of 6 games was won by the computer. So what does it mean? We are not here to play chess, ma. Why you talk to me about chess? If this can happen to chess, this can happen to the person sitting on the chair. What will keep you in the game? People hope that, keep me in the game. Commission very high, product very good, customer very stupid. Sure can. Let me tell you the difference between your industry and the rest. If I'm selling phones, cars, if customer die want to buy, happy or not? Happy. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You are selling insurance. When you realize that your customer die want to buy, that means they are dying. That's why it's difficult for us to really understand how do we do well in this industry. So what will keep us in the game? Now, the technology has affected us tremendously. You know how I know? Morning I was sitting here, I know. Some of you, body sit inside here, right? The finger and the mind far away already. Order pizza. Check with your kids, got do homework or not. Chit-chat with your dog, chit-chat with your cat. Technology has made us more connected than we ever can imagine. So is technology all about bad things? No. Technology is never all about the bad thing. So let's talk about the nice thing first. Okay, we talk about the nice thing, then we tell them what we don't like about the technology. Now the nice thing comes from our daily life. Let me introduce you one of my friends. His name is Jason, 32 years old. You know what Jack Ma talk about people who are 30 over years old? They are the future leaders. Jack Ma talk about 3 types of 30. Focus on industry that is less than 30 years old. Focus on your staff that is less than 30 years old. And focus on technology that is less than 30 years old. So, you know why he looks so sad? He is from a pharmaceutical industry, and then the wife always make noise, Hey, why come back so late? How come I smell like your car, the perfume different type from mine? How come like that? Hey, don't like that lah. I also got female colleague lah. Why your female colleague must sit so close? Where got sit close? Sit inside already got the smell because it's perfume. Then over the weekend, the wife will go and check. Right? Check what? Check evidence. long hair. How come my hair short? How come this hair so long? Okay, same length. How come my hair black? How come this one golden? A lot of things to explain, so not happy. Another person I introduce to you, this person, Datuk Muhammad Yusof. He worked in the banking industry. He loved his family. He is 38 years old. Love his family. He's always frustrated when, because of his job, he need to travel overseas. Sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months. He hated it because he loved the feeling of going back on time when he worked in Malaysia, and then he can see his kids, and then they can have dinner, and then he can tell stories to the kids. He basically loved the family being with him. So his fear is always, I hope my boss don't send me too far away. Next person is my friend called Siva. He's a civil lawyer. You know what he's talking about now? He said, hey, hello, stop going out for your shopping. Every time I come home, I got to go and treasure hunt you. Where are you? And then you say you're on the way back, on the way back. By the time you come back, I sleep already. By the time I wake up, you are sleeping. I come back, you disappeared. So you can see that they are not happy. Now, this thing happened to many of us in many different ways. These are just 3 ways. Technology has solved their problem. When Jason decided to earn more money by not quitting his job and at the same time taking up as a Uber driver, suddenly the hair how long also never mind because customer want ma. The perfume how smelly also never mind. From the strawberry smell to the durian smell, the wife still smiling. Why? Because Uber, you got to take customer, Can you tell customer, don't come in when your perfume is different brand for my wife? Cannot, So now, problem solved. There's something I need to tell you about Jason, okay? He loves his wife, he's a faithful man. It's just that now this technology allows him to illustrate his faithfulness without the wife worrying too much. So technology has helped him. Not forgetting that he will have extra income. What happened to the Dato? He was sent to US, to understand about the bond paper, and he was there for a few months. How? Lucky he got Skype, WeChat, whatever you call it, video conferencing just changed our body shape to become 2-dimensional. But the feeling is still the same, transcending through the monitor. So he can still show his father love. He will tell the son, hey, stop watching TV. Dad, how you know? I have camera all over you. I know what you did last summer. And then now, Mr. Siva, happy man. Why? Why is he happy? Every day come back, wife down there, Why? Is it because the wife gave up shopping? No. Wife go online shopping. No need to go on your own. Still spending the money, but now maintaining and fulfilling the requirement of the husband. So technology do help us. I can go on and on, but your lunch is waiting, so I can. So you see, this is about. And many of us here are people who shop online as well. You say don't have. Then I say, if you take AirAsia, do you go to the AirAsia office or you just buy online? You buy online. So what is FinTech? FinTech is deeper than just technology. FinTech is deeper than technology changing our life. I'm just going to show you the proper version of FinTech, and then I summarize for you the simple version, okay? FinTech is called financial technology. So now you learn something. And if you did not stick to the agreement frame and you just disappeared, at least you learn one new word that you can go and disturb your downline. Hey, hello, why never come for Prulia? At least today I learned one new word called FinTech. Later you'll learn another thing that is directly related to insurance and technology. Okay, so FinTech. So basically FinTech is about crowdsourcing. It's about getting funding. So we call it crowdsourcing. It's about mobile payment. That means not wanting to go all the way there to make the payment. It's about money transfer. It's about loans. It's about insurance. And it's about asset management. So it's about financial product being purchased in a manner that is going to shake the traditional way of selling. So this is the big picture. The three simple things you want to remember about FinTech to show intellectually that you understand. Three things. FinTech is about peer-to-peer financing. P-E-E-R, peer-to-peer. What is peer-to-peer financing? Peer-to-peer financing means that when people need money, they no longer need to go to the bank and beg for a loan. They talk to people who are willing to lend money, and legally, these people are able to get their funding. Which means to say, if you are afraid of FinTech affecting your insurance sales, let me tell you a secret. The banks are more kanchong than you. The banks will be the first hit. So the first thing you want to remember about FinTech is peer-to-peer financing. The second thing you want to remember about FinTech is all about digital payment, not hard cash, digital payment. So that's the second thing. And the third thing that you want to remember about FinTech is all about big data analysis. Big data analysis. What is called big data analysis? They are able to go through the machine and straight away know exactly what customer will buy tomorrow. So much so that people who call themselves analysts for a company will be obsolete, because even if you be prepared to work 48 hours a day, if there's ever such a thing called 48 hours a day, you cannot beat the computer. What you used to spend on for your analysis work, the computer will do it by seconds. And if you remember what your CEO this morning said, Prudential, PNB will invest in technology for our back-end work. I say, wow, good. Mr. Gunn is on my side. So we are on the same stories. So is FinTech new to us? Actually, it's not. It's just that it evolved to be something scary. Time to raise hand. How many of you have watched the movie very, very long time ago called Gremlins? Never before. Be careful, review your age. Ladies, control a bit. Don't come out. You come out, people know you're no longer young. That one is when I was a little boy. We watched Gremlins. So Gremlins is what? You feed them before 12, they are very cute. You feed them after 12, you get cute. So FinTech has always been around, just that now it becomes scary because of the three things that earlier I told you. Now FinTech is taking over the digital payment, peer-to-peer lending, and also big data analysis. And that's why FinTech is not new to us. And because it's not new to us, so many of us just let it pass by, let it develop to become the evil gremlins without realizing. By the time you realize, it's the time you are gone. So FinTech is about technology. Mobile devices such as smartphone, tablets, they have a common place. The impact of how financial services are offered and consumed have now changed. FinTech is not just happening in Malaysia or Singapore or Thailand. It's a global event. The official definition of FinTech is a global phenomenon. It is the birth of the intersection of the financial industry and the technology provider. They merge. So this trend will continue. For example, in US, the trend is now so much so that it becomes a disturbing trend for the traditional business. Just 2014 to 2015, the increase in FinTech-related business rose to 150%. And in Malaysia, without you knowing, FinTech companies are coming in from overseas, or they are inbound building. Some people, they left the insurance industry because they realized that building the FinTech startup industry is another big thing that is going to happen in Malaysia. So these are just some of the examples. Without you realizing, many of your digital payment are vendors like this that is doing the settlement, fronted by a familiar traditional vendor like the banks or insurance company. Without you realizing, there are things that are already happening. So let me share with you something about Singapore. Now, Singapore road to FinTech related to insurance is on one road that have no turning back. It used to be that online you just buy simple product for insurance. Sophisticated product, what must you do? You must see the person. I remember those days when we were young and we were selling insurance, and we were selling insurance for the banks. We call it what? No, eyeball to eyeball. You got to see the person to get the sales. However, it's no longer the case. Okay? Just last year, November, Singapore organized the first ever FinTech conference. And the government, called MAS, came out to talk about they are not going to stop FinTech. They are just going to regulate it. So FinTech is going to allow customer to buy full suites of product online. Not just simple product like PA or simple product like mortgage loan. Full suite of product. Who do they talk to? I don't know. Maybe they will be talking to robot. We will find out. So this year, January, the FinTech transaction in Singapore amount to 13 US billion. That is huge. And in Malaysia is also embarking on a FinTech journey. FinTech, as I mentioned earlier, is a global phenomenon. You can't stop. The more you try to stop, the more you will get hurt. So FinTech is going to invade into Malaysian markets. And earlier I mentioned that in Singapore, in January, the FinTech-related trade amounts to 13 US billion. Malaysia is catching up. January alone, the FinTech trade related in Malaysia amount to $7 billion. So it is actually coming out faster than we can ever imagine. And FinTech in Malaysia is going to have companies like this, where the government is talking about there is no stopping. Insurance to be offered through Direct China. Some of you already know about this. Some of you ignored it and pretend it never happened. Some of you is grumbling about why we allowed that to happen. Some of us here, as I mentioned, I have to be honest, some of us here are too spoiled. We hope that the authority will have a magic wand that can stop FinTech from affecting your sales. It will not happen. Just as a metaphor, can you imagine yourself being the taxi driver, going in the street, protesting against Grab cars and Uber? You will not succeed. Because it is not about the government changing the trend. It's about a consumer way of buying the services have changed. So we know that it's going to get more and more deeper into the invasion of FinTech. And I want to show you one company that do that. The percentage of people using mobile to purchase financial products. You have countries like India, China, Hong Kong, UK, Canada. And the trend is catching up that at least 20% of the people who own smartphones are comfortable to use their phone as a paying vehicles. And why do I put a question mark for Malaysia? Because there is no official data yet. There is no official data yet out for Malaysia. My guess will be it will play a very quick catch-up game. Not because the people like you in the industry wants it, but because the people who are buying the product find their way of buying things in a much convenient manner. That's the one that they welcome. So this is a company I want you to be aware of. Just as an example, there are many of them out there that is creating a new trend. They are like gremlins. They are cute. They are silent. They are small. If you ignore them, they will become big. There is this company called You for Life. What they do is, they actually do research. And they try to find out why people do not want to buy financial products like insurance online. And they found that reason why people are still hesitating, how many percent? From the research, 52% or close to 53%. These are the three reasons. First reason, the people feel, what should I buy? I know I can use my mobile apps. I know I can use my computer, but what should I buy? It's like asking me to go to a Chinese medicine shop and say, okay, pick your own medicine. I do not know what to pick. So this is one concern. Second concern would be, how will my insurance needs be assessed? How will I know I'm buying the right thing? Remember my neighbor, not Mr. Ong. He protect the wrong thing. He protect his shoes. He lost his camera. So customer is asking themselves, hey, how will I know that I'm getting the right thing? And the third one they are asking, which is directly related to your job. They say, hey, buy insurance, most important is claim. It's not the policy delivery. So how will I know who will make the claim for me? So luckily for all of us here, is FinTech going to wipe out your business straight away? I'll be lying to you if I say from tomorrow you will be wiped out. I'll be lying to you. Because the statistics from the Malaysian behavior give you that sense of comfort. Not so soon. Will it happen? Yes. When? I don't know. But it's coming. So it's not so soon. And why we know it's not so soon? Because at least still slightly more than 50% of the people are still not going to use their mobile apps to buy the financial products. However, this You for Life have one uniqueness. They aim to be the game changer of how people buy insurance in Malaysia. You know what? They now say it out very loud. They want to help customers to be able to assess on their needs just based on simple questionnaire. Take about 5 to 10 minutes. Kau tim, habis. I already know what you need. This is what they claim. Are the customers buying it now? Some of them. Who are the people who are in the 47%? Later, I'll show you who are these people. Even though we know it's only 40% of the people that is willing to embrace the FinTech in their own hands now, there is one worrying trend, which you and I know, that we are accepting the usage of digital payment. Just like earlier I mentioned about buying the air ticket online. This is one example. So people are increasingly comfortable using online platform. So, ladies and gentlemen, FinTech is going to kill our business if we are not careful. And remember the 4 calibrations that earlier I told you that we need to do? Now when you see FinTech, I need you, don't do the wrong thing. You do the wrong thing, you cannot the wrong programming, you go out, you die. I'm not responsible. We program ourselves correctly, okay? When you see FinTech, can you hold on to the side of your chair? When you hold on to the side of your chair, is it cold? Is it hard? It is. Can you please program yourself and say, FinTech is cold and hard? Can you do that? Remember, if you don't do, you are making the person sit beside you no lunch. So do lah. Do it to help each other, got food to eat. So FinTech is going to come. And it's going to come in a manner that is what? It's going to be cold. It's going to be hard. Okay. Then now you can relax your hand. Don't keep holding on. I don't know what you like. After that, I need to carry you out. Now relax. Next thing. What are people thinking of? What are corporations thinking of? They are now spending millions of dollars figuring out how the new millionaires are spending the money. And why are the new millionaires important? Because this will form the core group of consumer that is going to set the trend of purchasing something. So are we ready to embrace FinTech? The cartoon says that it has taken us 15 years, but we'll finally figure out how the teenagers of the 90s think, act, and consume media. So this is the graph that I love a lot. If there's only one picture that you need to remember, you need to remember the selfie that we took. You need to remember this. So I'm going to guide you through. This part here is called the traditional consumer. The traditional consumers are likelihood to be people like some of us in this room, or most of us where it's our parents or our relatives, which are more senior. So these are the traditional consumer. They buy things based on the old method of knowing what is it. Then, most of us here, we are the transitioner. We are the half-half. If I were to borrow the words used by Mr. Raymond Tang, the CEO of Eastspring, my ex-boss, he said, hey, we are sandwiched in between. The word he used was sandwich. When he said the word, I say yes. Earlier, I got Mr. Gunn agreeing with what I say. Now, I also got Mr. Raymond agreeing with what I say. The word called sandwich, people thought you sell Subway. You say transitioner. More professional words. Okay, so it's transitional. So what are these people? People that is half here, half there. People that is willing to try new things, but not all the way. Can you remember those era when we start to realize that people can buy travel insurance, personal accidents online, and we're not very worried because we say, those are simple things, I also don't want to sell. Sell also cannot make a lot of money. That's why we are the transitional type. We choose certain things and let it be digital payment. Most of the thing is still people-to-people selling. However, let me bring you to the future. There is no point working hard in the present if what we are working in the present is not building on the future that you want. So if you want to still stay in this industry, you are not in this industry for commission, you are in because you want to complete the mission, then you need to follow my timeline. The timeline says that in the future, and it's not very far away, 2025, we will be controlled by a new era of people. When they want to buy things, they behave so differently from us. And these people have a term. It's called digital native. What is called digital native? I'll give you a very simple example. During our time, if we were a little baby, if our parents pass us the calculator, you know what we'll do? We'll put into our mouth. Digital native, baby, you give them calculator, you know what they do? They thought it's a phone. Hello, hello. Digital native versus us. If you are working in an office, the office got fire, what do? You call the fire ambulance. Digital native, if there's a fire, what they do? They on their Instagram. Die also must live stream. Because no point living if there's no live streaming. This is called digital native. Let me give you another example. What is called digital native? During our time, we are told to do what? To talk to people. During festive season, Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, Diwali, relatives come and visit us. What do our parents tell us? A boy, a girl, come out. Talk to your senior. Talk to your senior kids. This is our time. Digital native, you know what they do? Keyboard warrior talk until so romantic. Meet each other, open mouth, no words. They forgot how to communicate. If they are seeing you, they need to. Even right now, some of you are texting. Hey, I hope my lunch is not too long. So can you imagine we are going to live in a very different world, regardless of whether you choose to stay in this industry or not. FinTech is going to affect us. And I'm going to use some of these examples so that you know. So when we're dealing with the digital native, we have to deal with a new set of skills to ensure that we continue to be successful. So how? Now, this will not change. The good news, this will not change. When our customer is thinking about financial planning, this will not change. Borrowing, spending, saving, investing, protecting. And not only that this will not change, a few other things are going to be constantly what customer is looking for. First one, customer want to look for things that are transparent, easy to know that it's legal. They want to know things that are transparent. The next thing is, they want to make sure that this thing can be personalized. So transparent, personalized. Not only it have to be personalized, they want to make sure that this thing that you're offering to them is convenient. Convenient to what? Convenient to amend, convenient to sell away, convenient to buy again. Not only that, they want to make sure that this thing is simplistic, it's simple to take up. Not only they want it to be simple, they want to also make sure that it's secure. If they are going to make some digital payment, they want to make sure that it's a secure platform. So, in addition to all that, they want to make sure whatever they buy is effective. So this is what is not going to change. So the good side about FinTech is that it's not just another buzzword. It's not just a technology jargon. It's basically going to transform business. It's actually going to make sure the way we sell is going to be so different because we are going to use more of the technology. So this is one example. Using paperless platform to complete a transaction. And this is nothing new to you. Many of you are using the paperless platform when you're submitting your sales. This is just another illustration that we are talking about the consumer being able to go purely digital when they want to complete their whole transaction. So at the back of your mind, you need to think, who are the people that are serving this customer if they choose this? It might not be you. It might not be me, because it might not be a human being doing it. So I introduce this word to you. It's called robo-advisors. We have to be comfortable with this term because this is happening globally. So this means that more and more companies are spending money to build evaluation questionnaire so that they can get their goal of the customer instantaneously. So much so that they can actually know what they want. Some company actually aim to do this. By the time customer click a yes, I want to buy, they receive the policy in their email. It's almost instantaneous underwriting. So not just only insurance agent will be out of job, underwriter, analyst might be out of job. But don't leave the room. I got good news for you at the end of the sessions, okay? Now after I see you leave the industry because of you. Suddenly my name becomes FinTech. Now if you like FinTech so much, I'm not going to drag on all this technology thing because I want to talk about the nicer part of the FinTech. So I just want to let you know that there's a book. Okay, this book is by the current IT analyst of IBM. Okay, his name is Paolo Cironi. He talked a lot about FinTech, and it's an expensive book. It's an expensive book, and then the font of the book is so small until you need a magnifying glass. So he basically talk about FinTech, and he's talking a lot also, not just on insurance, he's talking on the wealth management and the banks. Okay, if you find this book interesting, and you do not want to invest in it, you can also consider my book. This one cheaper. That's how they want 200 plus ringgit. This one likelihood is going to be about 100 plus ringgit. Okay? But I'm not going to use this platform to sell a book. You want to know more information? My team is out there, just outside. You can talk to them. I just want to let you know that we are all talking about FinTech as the future of selling. Okay? So basically, a book that is on the way from me as a gift to my supporter in the industry is going to talk about FinTech as well, in addition to all the other techniques that you need to have. So Singapore and Hong Kong is trying to fight to see who is the kingpin of FinTech. They, instead of helping the industry to protect They want to open up the gate and flood it because we all know the only way to survive is to evolve and not to avoid. So we will not know who wins. So as a robo-advisor, is it new? It first appeared between 2008 and 2010. Instantaneous. The reason why it was 2008 was because during that time, many people lose faith in human beings. Do you still remember the Lehman Brothers? Do you still remember global financial crisis? Those were the time where people that are very qualified didn't do the proper thing and they hurt their customer wealth. And customers say, I don't trust you anymore. And customers basically just go to machines. So basically, FinTech is not something new. So what will keep you in the game? This is where we have to make sure we choose the better correctly. In the last 30 years, human beings have been trying to make ourselves like a machine. We try to outbeat the machine. We try to do better than machines. And then in recent times, we start to realize that human beings are trying to make machines look like human. And there's one small little space in between these two that you need to know. And if you are able to embrace the little space, you will win. What is the space? The space is this. In the little space between human and machine, we can choose to make sure that those simple things that can be done by machine, we don't do. We outsource it to machine. We will focus on things that the machine can't do. So what are those things the machine can't do? We got to first go to the computer, your smartphone, and tell them what? I'm the boss. We have to first take charge. You have to take charge and let them know I'm the boss. And you have to understand that there are new questions being asked on the insurance industry. We used to think that insurance company with very good branding will always win because customers will only choose the strongest, the financially most secure company. We may be wrong. We used to think that if we are in this country and we have the tallest insurance building, we will always be seen as strong and will never fall. We may be wrong. We always think that asking customers to make payment is about whether they can afford. There's one word that you need to know. It's not just about affordability. It's about the real power to pay premium. And people will only pay for something when they truly know why they need to do it. If not, it's never about the price. It's about, I want the money to be spent somewhere else. So why do I want to show you this? I want to show you this because it shows that we still have hope. FinTech can be as fast as it wants to be. These are just some of the gaps that the FinTech cannot do. I just want to give you a metaphor. Nowadays, in many homes, we use this robot vacuum cleaner. I want you to imagine that the vacuum cleaner is so powerful, better than you sweeping the floor every day. However, due to the shape of the robot vacuum, there are always some pockets of dirt that cannot be sucked in by the vacuum cleaner. So it's you who still have a job. And now your job becomes lesser because you don't have to sweep the whole floor. So this is where I want to get you into this part of the game. You can stay in this business if you do the following. You must have skills that allows you to understand the ethical and behavioral thought process of clients. What is called ethical? Ethical is not just about maximizing return. Ethical is not just about buying the cheapest product. There are some hidden values, hidden beliefs inside a client's mind, inside a client's life that only human being can understand. Able to provide insights about client emotional preference. Engage client in deep conversations on insurance goal. Uphold not just legal, but moral obligations. The quality of Fides. Fides is a Roman civilization where when you have a product that can help people, the person who has the problem have to pay respect to you because they have to thank you for solving the problem. That is called the Roman civilization. How nice if today we still practice that. Because if we still practice that, it means that customers will be begging you to sell them something. But the modern economic mechanics have changed all this. So we have to find the little pocket gap to bring it back. So I want to show you some of the things that the FinTech can't do. The first thing that FinTech can do is to understand what is called essential insurance goals of your client. They cannot understand this because this is too much of a people skill related. The FinTech cannot really know what is called building a safety net that protect the client's pot of money. So this is something that you can still do well for your clients, even all the way to the future. Second thing, the FinTech cannot understand what is called important insurance goals. If I were to on an app and say, I want to buy insurance for my Ferrari, I want to ignore my kids' education funding, what would the FinTech say? Okay, what you want to buy? Full stop. The FinTech have no human involvement in your decision. As advisors, the human advisors, like who you are now, you may ask, what would it be like when you're driving your Ferrari fully insured, knowing that your kids have no tertiary education funding? Would you be proud, being seen as a responsible father? You may want to probe. And this is something that the FinTech can't do. Okay, the FinTech can't do this. So this is a part that if you build on, you will win. And the third and final part about what you can do that the FinTech can't do is called aspirational insurance goal. There are people who say, I have enough money. Then you say, how about helping those who do not have? There are voluntary goals that you can help, which the FinTech cannot understand. The FinTech will say you're overinsured. The FinTech will say that why you already got so much money, you still want to buy on the medical where you can use your cash to pay it. So there is no value add in the transaction other than purely getting it. The human will add a meaning to what you're holding on. So this is a summary of the three. So if you walk out today feeling disturbed about the involvement of FinTech affecting our sales, don't be. These are the three things that the FinTech cannot take over. And these are the three things that all along we wanted to do. It's like, if you ask me to sweep the whole house, I don't want. I only want to sweep the small corner. That's what I want to do, because I want to spend more time doing other things. And this is exactly what we should be viewing it. So, ready to be the game changer. We have to embrace FinTech as our friend and not our enemy. How do we do that? I want to introduce this. You know what is this or not? Are you familiar with this thing called the QR code? Now, the QR code is basically like a barcode. Why do I want to show you this? Do you know that when we fear about FinTech, we thought that it's something like the end of the world? The beggars in the street are also worried about FinTech. Because when people go digital, they are carrying less cash. So there are beggars in some country that realize now nobody put coins, nobody put money. So what they do? They evolve. They say, never mind, you never bring your shillings. This is my security code. Ladies and gentlemen, if a person in the street realizing that they are not getting their money, they evolve. Who are we not to? If we don't change the way we sell, if we don't change the way we interact with our customer, we will be obsolete. So this is just an opener for you. So can we embrace the future of selling? What is the future of selling? This is where you have to understand that in future, when customer buy things, they no longer need you to tell them what you are selling. If you find this as very remote, very hard to understand, think about how people buy electronic stuff. They walk into a shop. They know exactly what is the specs of the gadget they buy. So I'm going to dim the light, and I'm just going to let you watch a 1-minute clip.
Marketers have been using a 3-step mental model of marketing for a long time. Stimulus, like developing a TV ad. Shelf, focusing on point of sale, which has historically been called the first moment of truth. And experience. People take the product home and experience it. They could have a good experience or a bad experience, and they share it. This is the second moment of truth. If marketers spend time on these 3 steps, they should succeed, right? We investigated this theory. We conducted a comprehensive study with research partner Shopper Sciences using 5,000 shoppers across 12 categories, from groceries to cars and financial products. The goal, show where influence takes place as shoppers move from undecided to decided. We found that the average shopper used 10.4 sources of information, up from 5.3 sources in 2010. We asked shoppers what sources they used to make decisions, when they used it, and how influential is each source. When we lined up their responses, a 4th step appeared in the marketing mental model, the 0 moment of truth. This is when consumers do their research, get smart about alternatives, read reviews, look for coupons and comparison shop, all before going to the shelf. When we compare the steps, the 0 moment of truth pops up as highly relevant and influential. Consumers have changed the way they have approached decision making. As a marketer, have you kept up, or are you still using the old mental model? There's a new mental model now, and marketers that can now keep all these steps spinning gain a very competitive advantage in today's marketplace.
So in your business called insurance, what is the 0 moment of truth for your clients? What do we mean? Basically, it means that in the future, people do not rely on you for the information of your product or your solutions. They get it online. They get it through sharing groups. The peer-to-peer sharing group will tell them what is good about it, what is bad about it. So by the time you show it to them, it is no longer going to determine whether they buy or not, because they already make a decision. So what is your 0 moment of truth? We have to start looking at our business and say, how can I let people understand about my company? How can I let people understand about who I am? What my agency is focusing on? What are we strong at? Sometimes we call this the unique selling propositions. And that will allow your customer to have the 0 moment of truth of you, of your product, of your team, of your company. For example, I just give you an illustration of myself. What will people think of me when they think of my company, Vantisco? What will people in Malaysia think of me when they think of my company, Vantisco? Very simple. They will think of Vantisco as a bilingual company that can help people to focus on 2 things: the financial industry, which is basically insurance or unit trust, or just anything related to selling. And for the Malaysian market, it will be run by a team of trainers that understand the market, even though most of the trainers will be from another country. So that will be my 0 moment of truth for people to understand about it. And by the time I show them my training proposal, they have a better understanding of what I can propose. And that's exactly what you can do for your customers. So how do you do it? You need to have a brand. People say, I already got a brand. My brand is that I'm Prudential agent. I am a member of Prulia. That is not a brand until it becomes meaningful for your client. So you need to build a brand. The future of selling will be for people that are celebrities, financial advisors. People that someone, before they know you, they have a 0 moment of truth. They want to come and find out what you do. So I need to say something that may offend some of you. I still got to say it because I want to be sincere with you. Some of you are still very frightened about the social media. Oh, this one cannot, very personal. I don't share this, I don't share that. I'm not asking you to share things that are personal. I'm here to tell you that, sad to say, privacy will be a word that's going to be obsolete in the future because of 2 things that's happening in our life. The technology advancement it's making a lot of our data being siphoned out by people that need to use it. And secondly, as we walk out in the street, we are being watched by the cameras. There will be more and more street cameras, so much so that the technology exactly know at what time you'll be appearing where. So we have to embrace a new environment whereby privacy will be very, very scattered. So salespeople got to work closer with the marketing staff. No longer are you calling yourself, I'm just a salesperson. You come up with a great plan and I will sell it based on what you tell me is good. You have to find your own selling angles. Some of you are lost. Should I focus on online? Or should I just ignore it and I focus on offline? You need both. You need both the online and offline. So when you think of the online, you need to hold on to your chair. That is the heart. When you think of offline, can you do the anchoring on your hand? Is it softer than just now when you touch the chair? That is all. This is exactly what your customer need to experience. You need to use the convenience of the chair, which is a technology, to help your customer. You need to use the warmth of the human to understand exactly what they need. And salespeople are steadily being forced to be more honest. Why I use the word forced to be? Because given opportunity, some salespeople choose not to be honest. Because the more dishonest you are, the easier it is to sell your things. But that's the wrong way. So salespeople will be forced to be more honest. And you will start to realize that becoming the supportive and useful servant to your client is what you need. So what it means here is, in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, you should not be learning how to sell. You have to learn how to serve. Your customer will not be interested in how you sell the things. Your customer will be interested in how they benefit when they buy it through you. You should be focusing on making your client happy. You shouldn't be focused on why is the internet taking away some of the business. So there is something that we can bring back. We have to bring back the high touch of selling. What is a high touch of selling? The high touch of selling is whereby human selling to human is the proper way. There is something about FinTech that you need to remember. FinTech is programmed. And because FinTech is programmed, if the program is wrong, FinTech will do things wrongly without realizing. So FinTech is only focusing on getting the thing done right. It's not talking about doing the right thing. This is the key things that you need to take away with you for this session. FinTech is only focusing on getting the things done right. It's not focusing on getting the right thing done. So FinTech is only focusing on protecting what? The money value of your client. And what you need to do is to protect the value of money. That is the difference. So we know that some part of our business will be taken away. And that is the good news, by the way. It allows us to elevate to a point where we focus on the big, chunky, value-added business. And we focus on the nice things, the one that brought you to this industry. Talking to people, helping people. So it's about connection with people. And this is one part where we want to ask ourselves, when was the last time we really look into our customer eyes and tell them that we care for them? In order for us to do well in the future, don't ever compete with FinTech. You will lose. Go on the area that FinTech can never come in. The human-to-human technology. The ability to look through a person's eyes and knowing that things are said even before the words are out. So what I want to do before I end is to show you a clip. And the clip is where we reflect on ourselves. When was the last time we really talked to someone like a human being?
Baik.
Tengok mata Mak. Tengok mata.
Nampak ni lama.
Takutlah.
Gigi ni lama.
You know, when Keza got sick, right?
Me.
When you got sick. Yeah, then it was very difficult. I just didn't want you to go, and I was very scared.
Thank you, Jie, for looking after Dad. Okay, you are everything to him. I miss this, you know.
Kau mini.
It's very important to me.
Emotional.
Well, very rarely we have this opportunity to stand side by side. So actually it's quite a very emotional moment because, you know, something that you want to treasure sometime.
I really feel like she actually loves me. Because at home she'll be like always scolding me.
That's love.
You see my husband become old. I'm very happy with him lah.
I still love her because still young now.
He's still young. Irritating.
So many years we never look into each other's eyes.
You've never done this before.
We used to talk, but not for so long.
I decided to give her a hug, which I had never done it before for a long time.
Oftentimes, when he sleeps, I pray over him. Just one thing that I can do as a mother. Yeah.
It's during this moment that I realized that, like my father has actually aged a lot. So I feel that, we should really spend more time with our loved ones before they just leave, you see.
I can see that she cares for me very much. She loves me very much. And I think that's the most important thing.
Your clients values their relationship with their loved one. And our job is to make sure we protect these values. When you can look up, you can get up. When you can look beyond today, you can plan ahead. So, we have to ask ourselves one thing. We call ourselves financial agents, we call ourselves insurance agents. We sell insurance. In the eyes of the customers, the word insurance means different things to different people at different moments for different reasons. What is more important is that there's something that will not change, and that is that the most important financial decision will always have to be sold through a human being, because if your customer is going to buy insurance from people that look like this, it's like when your hand is holding on to the hard, cold chair. We are able to make sure this will not happen. After all, selling to people is our job. And this is what we want to make sure it will be forever and ever for the customers. Thank you very much.
All right, big round of applause. Very well said. As we are in the love industry, right? The future of the insurance business is all about you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, our speaker, Joe Tan.